Hey guys, what's up? It's the Knife Enthusiast here, coming at you with another comparison video on the Microtech Tachyon 1 versus the Microtech Tachyon 2. So right off the bat, you can see that the Microtech Tachyon 2 is much bigger, or longer I should say, than the Microtech Tachyon 1. The Microtech Tachyon 2 actually has longer handles and a longer blade than the Tachyon 1, so you can see it's very noticeably smaller. Now, that's a very good thing that they did the Tachyon 2, because the Tachyon 1 was just too short. It was the Tachyon 1 was a great battle song, but its size really could not really escalate it to competition grade flipping, or a flipper you would use in a competition, because it was just too small. They did a really good job of elongating the handles and the blade on the Tachyon 2, which I really like. So to start off the review, we'll look at the blade and we'll move all the way down to the latch. So I guess I'll just go ahead and pick these up. I don't know, my tripod setup's a little weird, so I'll try my best to get these into focus. Now, starting from the blade. So the blades, as you can see, are a little bit different. Tachyon 1 has a blood groove, as you can see here. It's a groove in the blade, whereas Tachyon 2 has these 3 holes, which look actually pretty cool. I like them. Tachyon 2 has a very nice curve in the buoy blade for the swedge, whereas the Tachyon 1 doesn't really have the material cut out for the curve swedge, but they left it in there, which I think looks even better than the buoy curve. But I think aesthetically, or just looks, I think the Tachyon 2 has a better blade profile, but I really love the Tachyon 1 blade as well. Now, spines. I honestly think that they're both the same. Tachyon 2 is a very flat spine. Tachyon 1, very flat spine. So spines, no different. I would expect something there. Mainly the blades, the profiles are a little bit different, so that's good. They both have dual tang pins. The horns look about the same, to be completely honest. So the blades, pretty much the exact same thing, but with a different profile on the Tachyon 2. Now, on my Tachyon 1, I did a swapping kind of thing on the screws, so I have pin and a screw on one side and a screw and a pin on the other side, because on old battle songs it actually helps to flip the screws. I don't know why, but it actually does help for flipping. Whereas on the Tachyon 2, the pins are very pointy. Now, there's been a lot of comments about these pins. They're very pointy, they're not really round, they're more like cones than a dome kind of pin. Whereas in the Tachyon 1, it has a very round dome pin, which I actually like a lot more than the Tachyon 2 pins. So besides that, they're about the same. They're both sandwich construction. So you can see, sandwich construction has the notch for the tang pins. Also sandwich construction has the notch. So far not many differences. Main difference is the blade profile and the pins. So the pins in the Tachyon 2 are a little bit more decorative, I guess I would say, whereas they're cones instead of the kind of round dome-shaped pin, but I actually like the round dome shape more. Same handle looks. Only difference is that the Tachyon 1 has a stone-washed handle, and the Tachyon 2 has a bead-blasted handle. Both handles are titanium, so they're very light. I guess moving on down, actually had the same screw pattern as well, if you can see there. So that's another similarity. One of the main differences is that the block spacer on the Tachyon 1 is very decorative, and it's a block spacer, whereas Tachyon 2 went for these aluminum barrel spacers, which barrel spacers don't really add as much weight as block spacers, especially when these barrel spacers are made out of aluminum on the Tachyon 2. Now, you can get a stainless steel upgrade package. I don't know if they still sell it, but you can actually get one, and you can replace the barrel spacers and add some more weight. But block spacers add more weight than barrel spacers, so I don't know what the idea was behind that, but personally I like battle songs with a lot of weight in the end of the handles. So they both do a pretty good job with the material adding a lot of the weight back here, as you can see where all the holes are up here, eliminating weight. A lot of the weight would be back here, but it has an extra added weight on the Tachyon 1 because of those block spacers than the aluminum barrel spacers. Now I'm going to set these down because my camera angle, like I said, is really weird. I don't think I'll be able to get both latches in shot. So I'm just going to show you the latches one by one for the first. Tripod knocked in the way. Now, the latch in the Tachyon 1 was a very basic old style T-Latch, which a lot of old ballast songs had. It was this kind of thick latch here. It had a very rounded top to it, so it was a little bit bouncier than other T-Latches that would bounce off the handle, but not as much. So that was kind of nice. I actually kind of liked the feel of this one a little bit more, but it was very actually effective because it was very free. It would move side to side very well, and if you're going to make a T-Latch, then make it really free. Don't make it a little bit stiffer, which the Tachyon 2 did, and I'll show you about in a second. But this one was very free and very nice T-Latch. Sometimes it got in the way, but that's kind of the downside to T-Latches. But it was very free, and I like that about it. And you could easily swap the latch from handle to handle, because mine actually came with the latch and the safety handle, and I almost cut myself, but I didn't, so I swapped it to the bite handle. It took me about 30 seconds, so that was pretty nice that it was easy to, adjust and maintain. So picking up the Tachyon 2 now. Tachyon 2 went with this very decorative, very cool latch. Has a cone-shaped top, just like the pins, which I'll show you the pins in a second here. Hold on, we can just zoom in, hopefully a little bit better. Not really working for me. That's not too good. But you can see that the latch is domed a little bit. And the actual... Come on. Hopefully. Alright, well that's the best I can do. But the latch is very notched. So you can see it has these notches in it. It has the dome latch. So it's very decorative, and it feels really good like the 42 latch, except for it's not rounded in the bottom, so it's a little bit more uncomfortable. But it's still a pretty good latch. Only problem I have with it is it has a roll pin. Now, roll pins actually stop the latch in certain positions and makes it really stiff. So they were trying to make it kind of like a spring latch T-Latch, where it was a T-Latch, but instead of adding a spring in there, the roll pin would act like a spring latch, where it would try and keep it out of the way when you're flipping in certain positions. Now, that's just not effective, because in some positions it would just lock, like right here, for example. It locks for me a lot, and it just wouldn't move. It would just stop. So that's not good for me. A lot of times it might lock here, bang up my other handle, and it might lock there. So it's just not that good. You can see how my finger, when I'm pushing it around, it just stops here, and then it goes. So that's not good at all. You can literally put it on a table and move the latch would move the whole knife. Whereas on the Tachyon 1, you move the latch, the knife doesn't move at all. But on the Tachyon 1 or 2, the whole latch moves, the handles. So you can see how stiff the latch actually gets, and that's just not that good. I don't know why Microtech did that. To this day, it's a major problem. If you do own a Tachyon 2, most people either take the roll pin out or they just take the latch off completely. So now that's about the end of the comparison, just from tip to the tail of the knife. Now I'm going to tell you about some of the problems that I've had personally with the Tachyon 2 that is kind of limited to me. Is the main problem that I have with Tachyon 2 is the roll pin, because not only is it a terrible idea for the latch, you just can't get it out if you want to just take the latch out completely. You either have to get something like a nail or maybe something like that and put it into the roll pin hole, which you can see here, and just take a hammer and bang it out, which could chip your blade or scratch it, or you could just take the latch off in general. which is kind of a problem because most people don't want the roll pin latch. I honestly hate it, so if I could get it out, I would, but since I don't flip this knife that much because of these problems I'm about to tell you, it's not that big of a deal for me. But I am thinking about actually addressing these problems and trying to fix them to make this into a good knife to flip. Second problem I have is that all ballast songs have torque screws. Or not all ballast songs, most ballast songs have torque screws. And not only did Microtech add torque screws to the Tachyon 2, they added safety torque screws, which is a completely different torque screw head in general. So most of us have a whole torque screw set for all our ballast songs, T6 to about T10 or something like that. And the torque screw, safety torque screws, or the whatever you want to call them, security torque screws, have these little holes in them, or little pins. If I should get a good zoom in here, you can see how it has that little pin sticking out in the middle. You have to have a certain torque screw with a hole in the middle so it would fit into that pin and to unscrew your knife. So the torque screws that I have are, non-safety torques, so they're just don't have holes in them, so they can't work for this and I can't adjust it. Now, I haven't getting a new one's not that expensive. It's about $8, but for me, I like to buy things that I'm going to be using on multiple things, not buy a whole set of new screwdrivers just for one knife. But I have been thinking about that for a while because I have heard once you fix this up right, this knife is a really good flipper. Just like almost the new production, like the replacement, I don't know how to describe it. It's the closest thing to a 42 that has been in production recently. That's how I would describe it. So I have wanted to test it out because the 42 is my personal favorite, and so far this knife for flipping is just really stiff when I go to flip it, and that's why I need to adjust it, but I have not been able to adjust it so far. So that's the other problem I have with it, besides the latch and the, oh crap, I almost cut myself. But so the torque screws are, gosh, going through my mind real quick, different things. So the safety torque screws are a bad thing because you have to buy a whole new set. Roll pin is just a disaster. Third thing is the barrel spacers. They're aluminum, which does not add much weight, so it's very floaty, very airy feeling. Now if I added some stainless steel barrel spacers, which I'm probably going to do, it would make it a lot better flipper for flipping. So I probably might do that as well as start working on some improvements to make this better. But it's not really a problem for some flippers, but I like my ballast songs to have a lot of weight in the back of the handles, so I'm probably going to have to do it. That's just personal preference. That's not really a problem. Just for me, it's kind of a problem. So those are the three things the Tachyon 2 needs to have to be a better flipper for me. Right now, I flipped it about twice, and it's just really stiff in the handle, so I can't flip it that well. So it's more of a collector's piece for me. But I am going to start trying to improve it and making it better. And the Tachyon 2 I like a lot because it's just a fun flipper. I love the feel of the stone-washed handles, and it's really kind of small. It's not a small ballast song, but it's not a big ballast song either. So it's the perfect size for me to just throw in my pocket and just take with me and travel with, or go somewhere else outside of my house and just flip with it. So for me, it's the perfect ballast song to just take with me for flipping. It's not an EDC ballast song. It's kind of rare, and I don't want to EDC it. So for flipping, it's just the perfect ballast song for me to take with me for flipping on the go. So that's about it for the comparison, guys. I hope you liked it. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below. I will probably post a link to my other comparison video on the Benchmade 42 versus the Benchmade 62 in the description below as well. If you like this video, or you liked some of my videos in the past and you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll get updated on when I post new videos and stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching. This has been The Knife Enthusiast. Subscribe, like this video, and I will see you next time.